The news this morning, headlines. Court in Okar adjourns case of father accused of defiling biological children. United Nations reiterate commitment to safety of journalists. 50 aftershocks resulting from earthquake rattle Japan, killing one person. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast News on ABS Television. I am Priska Wanko. Governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, has tasked the Anambra living outside the state and thinking home to build a more desired, livable and prosperous homeland. Governor Soludo stated this during the commissioning of the 250-bed capacity female dormitory at Community High School, Akweze, and Ocha Council area. Government House correspondent A.G. Kabana filed in this report taken from here.
It was the renovated twin-story buildings, housing classroom blocks, equipped library, laboratories, ICT lab, among others. The foundation stone was also laid for the building of an all-purpose male dormitory. Governor Soludo revealed that 75% of Anambra's non-land assets reside outside the state, emphasizing that in order to build a livable and prosperous Anambra, the people must also start thinking home. While preaching they adopt a school model of development for the education sector, the governor revealed that indigents of other states may not respect Indian Anambra unless their homestead is livable and prosperous, explaining that it is the major force that drove him to run for the governorship. Governor Soludo appreciated the Nzeiku Abuo Foundation for their services to humanity by generously donating to the students' formative stage. He stated that education is the foundation which Chief Ikenna Okafor is laying, advising him not to get tired in trying to sow the seed, but rather begin to invest endowment funds for the foundation so that the legacy can be sustained.
You've done marvelously well, even for Eba. Fantastic. But I will encourage you to continue to do more. Makanika da Buchineke in blessing you. Ika Bukwanage in continuing to serve.
The Commissioner for Health, Dr. Afamobidike, and the Transition Committee Chairman for Anota, Mr. Gerard Ozo, thanked the Governor for always remembering Akweze community and Anota Council area.
So, Mr. Governor, nothing else is just to thank you for the support to the Anota.
The progenitor of the foundation, Chief Okafor, stressed that he has special interest in education, saying that it is the best gift that can be bequeathed to the next generation.
I believe education is the best gift anybody can bequeath to the youth.
Donation of books and computers, as well as donation of security car to Anota Council area, featured at the event. The Commissioner for Education, Professor Ngozi Chimude, member representing Dunukofia, Njikoka, and Anota Federal Constituency, Chief Dozie Nwankwo, Principal Secretary to the Governor, Barrister Joaquin Aneto, Catholic Bishop of Oka Diocese, Most Reverend Paulinus Ezokafo, Traditional Ruler of Akweze, Igwe C.N. Okpala, among others, attended the event.
Anambra State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, has allotted communities in Obara local government area to prepare to relocate to higher grounds to avert effect of 2023 impending flood. The Executive Secretary, SEMA, Apollo Denibo, gave the advice while interacting with community stakeholders and religious organizations at the council headquarters at Atani, ahead of the predicted 2023 deluge. Chibuzo Obidike, our correspondent, is standing by for details.
The interaction, SEMA shared flyers and educated the people, especially youth, on the need to care for the elderly, the physically challenged, the sick and pregnant women, among others, to ensure that no one is left out. Addressing the assembly, Sapo, who unveiled the recent report from NIMET, said that the 2023 flood will be heavier and more devastating, and as such, it becomes important for government to create awareness and educate the people and roll out plans to cushion the effects. He listed catchment pits, clearing of drainages, harvesting of farm produce before flooding, and healthy living as major steps to take to ensure that the effects of the flooding will not be as bad as previous years. The SEMA boss revealed that the state government is on top of its responsibilities in ensuring that the holding centers are well repositioned and habitable.
When it comes, the first thing we do is to get out of the flooding area and move to higher grounds where it is safe. Secondly, there are people who may not be able to move or to get out at that time. It becomes our responsibility to go and rescue them so that no life is lost. Every life is valued.
For Southeast Zonal Coordinator of NEMA, Mrs. Ngozi Echazu, it was expedient of members of riverine communities to start the preparation of evacuation to higher grounds, as consistent rainfall would increase the water levels of different rivers across the state. Responding, Igweke Chukwunwafili of Akiliogidi appreciated the agencies for alerting them and assured that communities in Owaru Council area will engage on necessary measures to ensure that the message gets to the grassroots.
This education what I hear today, Naruna for a start, and I'll go for our so I'm get cases here. Bokum with Vesiva, Nekwa, Nyobana Molanya. No better way to prepare than be prepared at every moment.
Representing Anambra West constituency in the State House of Assembly, Honorable Patrick Obalum Udoba says only dredging of rivers Niger and Omambala will end the perennial flooding threatening his constituents. Honorable Udoba stated this while speaking to newsmen on the devastating effects of flooding on the Anambra West and other parts of the state. The lawmaker noted that the perennial flooding has been the greatest enemy of his people over the years and wondered why the federal government has not garnered the political will to dredge the two rivers. He explained that the huge amounts of money being spent annually by the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, coupled with the funds some state governments spend in alleviating the sufferings of the riverine communities after every flood, is enough to dredge the rivers. The lawmaker, who is the House Committee Chairman on Transport, regretted the huge billions of naira the Anambra West lose annually as a result of the flood and called on the incoming president of Nigeria to take the issue of flood control seriously. According to Honorable Udoba, his constituents have spent fortunes in rebuilding their properties after flooding and described the inability of the federal government to do the needful by dredging rivers Niger and Omambala as unfair and marginalization of his people. The Anambra lawmaker stressed that apart from ensuring that constant flooding is put to rest, dredging of rivers Niger and Omambala will allow ships to move goods to Onitsha mini port, thereby reducing the pressure at Apapa port. Anambra State High Court, sitting in Awka, has adjourned hearing in the case of a father accused of defiling his biological children, aged 18 months, 4 and 8 years. A prosecution witness on the Child Protection Network, CPN, under the Anambra State Ministry of Women and Social Welfare, had informed the court that a whistleblower at the Enugu community in Njikoka local government area of Anambra State in May 2021 brought attention to the alleged incident leading to the arrest and detention of 48-year-old Thomas Ibo from Iwetiti in Enugu State with the help of Enugu Community Vigilante Group and operatives of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC. The prosecution witness further informed the court that after one of the children confessed to have been defiled by their father, the 3 children were taken to Ntasi Center for sexual assault cases at the General Hospital in Enugu, and the results of the medical test conducted at the hospital confirmed that they were actually defiled. Presiding Judge, Honorable Justice Ike Ogo, after listening to the witness, adjourned the matter to 15th June and 18th July 2023 for cross-examination and continuation of trial. Meanwhile, the accused told correspondent Joseph Ibocha that he was wrongfully accused of defiling his children and detained for over a year and 7 months, and that after bail, his entire family, including the wife, has relocated back to their village in Enugu State because of his ordeal. Executive Director, Creative Minds, Center for Youth and Community Development, Ugochi Freeman, Director, Davina The Care Foundation, Johanna Rachel, and Olichukwu Chukwenyem of Safeness Foundation are representing the Child Protection Network, CPN, in the case. Prosecution Counsel A.A. Awodun and Defense Counsel Chinedu Nwafo, with a brief of I.B. Onyeka, declined comment after the trial. A new family was created when former Miss Adeze Ugunze of Iswebi Oba community in the Idemili South Council area walked down the aisle to tie the nuptial knot with her hatrab, Mr. Chibuzo Okoye of Isiapu village in Nise community, Oka South Council area. The groom, Mr. Chibuzo, is the son of the Bishop of Ihiala Diocese, Right Reverend Professor Israel Okoye. Correspondent Emengini Osadebe reports that the ceremony attracted people from all walks of life. Her reports.
wedding ceremony, officiated by the Archbishop, Metropolitan and Primate Church of Nigeria, the Most Reverend Dr. Henry Ndokoba, was held at the All Saints Cathedral, Onitsha. In his sermon, Archbishop of Niger Province, the Most Reverend Alexander Ibezim, charged the new couple to give Jesus Christ a central position in every area of their family life by praying together so that their marriage will not lack its sweet wine.
Continue to love your wife will continue to surrender to you.
In his welcome speech, the Bishop on the Niger, Right Reverend Owen Nwokolo, welcomed the clergies and all that graced the occasion and prayed God to bless the new family. Speaking during reception, the chairman on the occasion, Chief Godwin Okeke, advised the couple to have love and understanding, respect for each other, and stay together in love as their parents. Later in an interview, the parents of the bride, Sir Edmond and Lady Nenna Ugunze, and that of the groom, Bishop Israel and Dr. Mrs. Faith Okoye, expressed gratitude to God for his benevolence upon them and their children, saying that it is the grace of God upon them that manifested in their children, and prayed God to bless their marriage.
The grace of God manifested today. We're happy about that. And we believe that what God has started, He will complete.
The Bishop of Mbamli Diocese, Right Reverend Obiora Uzochukwu, the Royal Father of the Day, who is also the traditional ruler of Umueri, Igwe Ben Emeka, and the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of ABS, Sir Chido Obidiegu, advised the new couple to always pray together, make sacrifices for each other, and have the spirit of forgiveness whenever they have issues.
Sorry, and then forgiving. That is the thing that keeps marriage.
Responding, the new couple, Mr. Chibuzo and Mrs. Adeze Okoye, expressed gratitude to God for a dream come true, describing the day as a blessed one for them, while promising to love, adore, and respect each other. High points of the event were exchange of marital vows and rings, presentation of Bible to the new couple by Most Reverend Ndokoba, cutting of wedding cake and dance by the couple, while presentation of household property by the parents of the bride added color to the event. From All Saints Cathedral, Onitsha, Emengino Sadebe, ABS News.
2 years after the World Press Freedom Day was proclaimed in 1993, United Nations reaffirms it remains committed to the safety of journalists and all ramifications. To mark the 30th anniversary of the celebration, the UN in its week-long activity for the celebration spent a day with journalists at the UN House in Abuja to reflect among the media professionals about issues of press freedom and professional ethics. Princess Ekwi Ajide was there for the ABS.
Was an opportunity to assess the state of press freedom throughout the world, defend the media from attacks on their independence, remind governments of the need to respect their commitment to press freedom, and as well pay tributes to journalists who have lost their lives in the line of duty. In an address of welcome, the officer in charge of UNESCO, Philippe Dalong, described freedom of the press as the cornerstone of any democratic society, saying that the international community is committed to combating the impunity that stays around crimes in which journalists are victims. He disclosed that the UNESCO has been leading the United Nations plan of actions to ensure the safety of journalists and end the issue of impunity, as it will ensure that independent media continues to exist. Dalong noted that the revolution in information landscape and its mode of operation has radically disrupted and jeopardized the viability of independent media.
Debate of ideas without verified facts, without diversity of perspectives, democracy is a shadow of itself.
The UN resident and humanitarian coordinator, Matthias Gmeil, in his opening speech, said when people have the freedom to speak their minds and to freely seek information they need, it will not only lead to intellectual growth, but will also contribute to social and political awareness. He said women journalists are the most vulnerable to threat as they live in fear of violence. The Executive Secretary of the National Human Rights Commission, Anthony Ojukwu, said, in spite of the resilience and importance of press freedom, journalists and media practitioners the world over face threats and intimidation, arbitrary arrests, detention, politically motivated criminal charges, among others. Others who spoke on the occasion include the chairperson NAWOJ FCT, Anna Daniel, who spoke on gender and women in media, the chairman NUJ FCT Council, Emmanuel Oboche, who spoke on safety and protection of journalists in Nigeria, a public affairs analyst, Jide Ojo, who spoke on the challenges and prospects for the future of freedom of expression, among others, gave solutions to ending violence against journalists. The theme for this year's celebration is Shaping a Future of Rights, Freedom of Expression as a driver for all other human rights in Abuja. Princess Ekwi Ajide reporting.
Japan, a day after a powerful magnitude 6.5 earthquake left at least one person dead and damaged buildings, emergency services said. As officials assessed the damage from the quake that injured more than 20 people and shot high-speed train lines, Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, who had returned from a tour to 4 Afghan nations and Singapore, said his government would take measures with a sense of urgency. Reports say the 65-year-old man died when he fell from a ladder during the earthquake that hit the central Ishikawa region mid-afternoon at a depth of 12 kilometers. Japan Disaster Management Agency warned that heavy rain could trigger landslides in affected areas. The earthquake registered an upper 6 on the Japanese Shindo seismic scale, which goes up to a maximum of 7. Japan has strict construction regulations intended to ensure that buildings can withstand strong earthquakes and routinely holds emergency drills to prepare for a major jolt. Sports. Nigeria goalkeeper Adebayo Adeleye has penned a new 3-year contract with Israeli Premier League club Hapoel Jerusalem. Mr. Adeleye has been linked with a move away from Hapoel Jerusalem, with clubs in Germany and Belgium interested in his services. The 23-year-old has, however, ended speculations about his future by signing a new contract. The shotstopper joined the Hapoel Jerusalem youth team in the 2018-19 season. Adeleye was promoted to the first team following the season. He received his first call-up to the Super Eagles in June 2022. Remember, you can follow news and program on ABS in any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at ABS Television or follow us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website. It's www.absradiotv.com. To end the news this morning, a recap of the main points. Anambra State government has embarked on enforcement team and visited more petrol station. Court in Awka has adjourned the case of father accused of the filing biological children. United Nations has reiterated commitment to the safety of journalists. 50 aftershocks resulting from earthquake have rattled Japan, killed 1 person. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of Koibo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. That ends the breakfast news on ABS Television at this time. Thanks for watching. I am Friska Wangwo. Good morning and happy Sunday.